Hey guys, so this is the third week of Reading Middle Sex. My name is Brandon Rueda. Some of you already know, and this is the second. This is the second video video log for the readings. So I finished the book about 4 days ago, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything, so don't worry about that if you haven't finished it yet. And I'm mostly gonna talk about how, just the connections that I made within the book, because that was one of the big things for me, was, coming into this book thinking it's gonna be about, the hardships that this girl faces, but I don't know if it was necessary, but she did, like, how she included the life of her grandparents. I mean, that was cool, but I really didn't see any kind of reason for it, especially in the end when Lefty just dies. When Lefty dies, and, that's sad. But I mean, if you're gonna say that the reason for her grandparents' story was because she was to explain her mutation, her being a hermaphrodite, then, like, why don't you just say, why don't you explain the other four generations that had it before them? I mean, that's because it didn't start with them, or maybe it was because they're brother and sister, and that's how the gene got passed down. I'm not sure. That's just what I think about that. But one of the big things about this book was I did appreciate, though, her telling the story about her grandparents and her parents, because that you form, when you learn more about someone, you form a relationship with them, some kind of relationship, and you feel something for when they, you know for when they something happens to them. I mean, everyone in the story, or her grandparents, her parents, and Callie herself, are all like main characters at some point in the book. Now you keep getting bits and pieces of Callie's story with this girl named Julie, but I think that's just to keep you updated on her life at that time. But I like how she kind of gives foreground while you're reading, before you actually get into her part of the book about her life. I mean, she already gives info about her brother, and how Desmond Dona was telling that he was going to be a boy when she was born a girl, or so they thought. And then when it gets back to her life, when her being born, you kind of go through that. She kind of summarizes it all over again. It's pretty. It helps you understand the book better. At least it did for me. You know, it's like, in a way, this book's like three books in one. I mean, it gives you a look about into the hardships that her grandparents had to face in the World War II, and her parents' relationship, how it lasted through that, and then finally Callie's life as a hermaphrodite, and growing up with kids, growing up with not knowing what's wrong with her, just knowing something's wrong with her. It was very very touching, I guess, for lack of a better term. Very touching, being in the locker room, going through great lengths just to hide her androgynous body. It's interesting. Well, that's pretty much all I really have to talk about for this week. Hopefully next week I can talk more about the book, rather than just the empirical aspects of it. Well, thanks.